And it started?
Yes. I literally went like this and it started.
Alright.
Hello. Welcome to Pots and Plants with Pots.
And Plants.
Hell yeah.
Hell
yeah. that was like the tamest hell yeah I've done to this day.
Hell yeah. Hell.
It's a hell?
Oh, hell yeah.
It's a hell and then a yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I guess
hell yeah.
Taste the hell yeah.
Fucking did, bro.
This is what you get when you take Pop Rocks edibles. Hell yeah.
And drink 2.5 cups of coffee.
Cheers. All right.
Today's topic.
We are talking about, so we've had some interesting stuff happen in our friend circle. Well, to her friend circle, not necessarily mine, but that's okay. This is part of the conversation of, we are talking about relationships and growing.
And boundaries.
And that word.
That word.
So we recently had a friend. Hey, we know you're watching. What's up, girl?
It's Jordy.
It's Jordy.
It's Jordy. She'll say she's been mentioned in the podcast before, so I feel like we can use her on there.
Okay, cool. So. Cool. Well, I always try to respect.
Or Joe. I guess we could just do Joe.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that she cares because, like I said, she's like, oh my god,
we always knew her
now.
I love that. I love that so much.
Yeah,
like,
she's like, you talked about me in your podcast. Now I'm famous now. Sure. If you call 52 subscribers famous.
You know what? It's something. Hi, everyone. We took some Pop Rock edibles and had a good amount of caffeine. So we're having a great fucking time.
Also,
oh, this is our pots for the day. We got honeydew vape cartridge. So I'm very, very, very excited for that. And then I'm gonna be doing my nails this cute little yellow color. And what you gonna be doing?
I'm gonna be watering a whole lot of plants because
holidays.
I say it's past the holidays.
It's in between the holidays.
In between the holidays. And then our friend from out of town, our special guest that we had last time, went back home. And so now I need to go back to real life things like watering my plants.
Real life things get away from all of us.
And content creation and editing because I already made I don't know if you saw it, but I already made a post apologizing for us missing last week.
Okay.
And then I'd go ahead and post like I'll edit and post that podcast plus another video, probably not this podcast, but a different video.
Okay, yeah.
To like make up for it.
Well, we can also do like an outtakes. We could also do a bonus outtakes video. I just did not have the
time or the energy to fuck with it, especially with me doing all the job hunting that I've been doing.
Well, and we even talked about the fact that this is like, that this is the holiday season. This is not an easy time for anyone. Yeah. And time gets away from all of us. Even on my sexy page. Yeah. I had to make a whole ass apology post of like, guys, I didn't post in 9 days.
So did I. Like,
because I didn't post in 9 days.
Of, like, I
was like, I'm so sorry.
Picture and I was like, y'all, my apologies to the one dude that's subscribing to me right now. Hey.
Were you trying to make Monster come out of my nose? Because you almost did.
Just being honest. to my OG.
Do you wanna subscribe to each other? We'll subscribe to each other. There we go. Yeah. Oh, so anyway, the whole point of this again. Do you see this? Do you see this? Do you see this? I'm already feeling so good right now.
Cool.
Hell yeah. I fucking love Pop Rocks. I also took like twice what you guys did though. But your tolerance is like 3 times less than mine. So.
I'm just chilling.
That's cool. Anyway, so the whole point of what we were talking about was that,
relationships.
Jordy, we're talking about relationships and growth. Our friend Jordy, Joe, however, we always knew her as Jordy growing up, and
I call her Jordy. I'm pretty sure that she like asks other people to call her Joe.
Okay, so maybe
I think I'm like the exception to that. I don't know.
I was gonna say she's never asked me to call her Joe, but again, I only knew her as Jordy ever. But maybe Joe may be the preferred.
Maybe she like introduced.
Yeah, and that's fair. I introduced myself to Rin to new people, so like I totally get it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so
Joe, Jordy, same person.
Yes. So we had talked about we had had issues in the friendship circle. No need to go into super detail about it because it's got a lot of detail that is just very childish.
It's a lot of drama.
It's
Maybe
just
I'll
a
do
lot of
story
drama.
time on my TikTok.
Maybe. Actually, it's not a bad idea. But anyway, so Jordy got back in contact with you and
it was really
tell
weird. So literally the Sunday after Thanksgiving, I got a text message that was like, "We need to talk," from a phone number that I didn't recognize, and I was like, about what? Because who the fuck are you?
That's terrifying.
Who the fuck are you? How you get my phone number?
We need to talk. Like, okay, this could go.
No. It says like it said like we should talk. It said we should talk.
Okay, but again, there is two possibilities that will run through your mind at that point. Either A, wrong number.
Yeah.
Like, first thing is this has to be a wrong number.
That's why I was like, about what?
Yeah. Or two, it's someone about to start some shit.
Yeah.
So like,
my options.
I mean, to be honest, Jordy was not in your top 5 or top 3 people that you thought it was.
It wasn't.
Who do you have a top 3 that you thought it could be? Out of sheer curiosity.
I had a thought that it could have been Rose.
Yes, that did cross my mind.
Yeah.
You have cousin's phone number.
Floor. Could have been Floor.
I never even thought about Floor.
Yeah. But I didn't really think about that, but
I mean, I honestly,
especially since it was
part of me thought it could have been cousin, but you would have
number?
had you would have had cousin's phone number still.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't. Yeah.
But yeah, no.
I almost thought it might have been.
There was a very short list of people that I thought it could have been,
but Joe was not on it.
But Joe was not on it.
No offense to Joe, but Joe is not the person who reaches out initially.
I literally thought that, like, okay, so the reason why she was just, like, not even a thought in my mind is because of the last interaction we had was her literally hating the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Never wanting to speak to me again. Essentially slandering my name all over the internet. And so I was like, she's the last person I thought it would have been because of that. So I was like, it didn't even cross my mind until the next message that I got, which was the big apology for everything that happened. And then I still was like, but is it really her? I wouldn't think it would be. Like, this doesn't sound like her.
And that's just personality-wise. And I say this in no place of disrespect to Joe.
Yeah.
Because me and her are not necessarily friends, because other than our friendship through you when we were way, way younger, we've never really had a relationship, and that's okay. I think we've gotten, well, I think it's okay. I have a respect for her. I don't know if she has a respect for me, but that's okay too. You're an adult and you live your life, honey.
Probably like a distance respect.
Yeah, it's not, the only disrespect I have is the disrespect she showed my friend.
Yeah. Like,
she could shit on me all she wants. The only part of me that she knew was when we were younger. And that's okay. I was a shitty person when we were younger. Everyone could attest to that. Again, this is part of the relationships and growth. I was a terrible, terrible person when we were younger. I was not someone who had a backbone. I was not someone who knew how to stand up for anyone, let alone themselves.
Yeah.
I was a compulsive liar. And it cost me a lot of heartache and friendships, and it took years for me to finally have this self-awareness to look inward and be like, okay, I am the fucking problem.
I'm the problem, it's me.
Hi, I'm the problem, it's me. Yeah. That is me. I was the problem. I am no longer the problem. Anyone who has a problem is the problem because I no longer have a problem. Does that make sense?
I'm not the problem, it's you. You're welcome.
Damn you, Kylie. Oh. You cannot be that funny when I'm this high.
I'm sorry.
That's not true. She can be this funny anytime she wants. She got 1 out of 10.
Yeah, 1 out of 10.
No, 2 out of 10. She got promoted. She got promoted.
It's true.
2 out of 10.
I got promoted by my husband, who says that I'm funny 1 out of 10 times.
But now
I got promoted to 2 out of 10 times.
2 out of 10 times. So far, she's killing it this time. Relationships. But no. So I only have a problem with how Joe treated my friend. But I don't have an actual problem with Joe. You can say what you want about me, and I'm not not a person to give a shit anymore. Other than the person who made the fake profile of me, which, by the way, fuck you. That was rude as hell.
Not nice.
That was rude as hell. Like, you can, like, the fake profile is flattering, but then the fake, like, knockoff OF, like, really? Come on now. Come on now. Trying to take my money and then say it's a backup account. Because I don't have a backup account. If I lose that account, I lose everything.
Yeah.
I am not one to create a backup account. I probably should, but...
Or at least have a plan for a backup account.
Oh, yeah, no.
Because I've seen some creators get, you know, insta-banned from...
Oh, yeah, there's,
perma-banned. Sorry,
Basic.
Insta-banned. I meant perma-banned from Instagram.
Like, Basic. On TikTok, she's gotten taken down so many fucking times, but she constantly has a backup plan, so it is something I'm thinking about. But anyway, growth and shit. So like I said, I don't have a problem with Joe, and you were saying, you know, the conversations of how Joe has come back. So messaged and was like, oh, this is Joe. And
yeah, and I was like, oh, well, shit, okay. And so then I told him that I appreciated the apology, and keep in mind, my husband is reading all of this. But yeah, but we
married life.
But we had some other, we continued to have some conversations about stuff. We, you know, talked about, you know, the past transgressions between us. And she, of course, like I said, apologized for everything that was, you know, on her part, and the things that happened, and things that were said, and things like that. And I apologized for my portions as well, and so there was
a lot of healing, a lot
of discussion and apologies and things all around. And so then we've kind of kept in touch a little bit off and on since then. It's only been a few days. No, today makes a week.
I was gonna say
today makes a week of us kind of like chit chatting and, like, you know, just light banter, talking about our cats.
Oh, she has a cat?
She's got 2 cats. Remember Diesel and Lucy?
Oh, shit, yeah. No, I remember Diesel. I didn't remember Lucy.
Yeah, she's got Diesel and Lucy, and then apparently her boyfriend has a cat named Jaeger.
Cute.
So cute. He's like all gray. He's adorable.
That's so cute. I love that. I love that.
Say, and then there's her boyfriend and his son that he has from previous baby mama. And then, so just, like, updates in her life and things like that. And so we just kind of, like, you know, bantering, chit-chatting. I'm talking to John about possibly going to visit and discuss some other things that occurred between her and the other girls in that friend group, and what's going on there. Because she said that it was too personal, that she didn't want to talk about it, like, over text or whatever. It needed to be an in-person conversation, and I said that was fine. You know, it gives us an opportunity to sit down and talk and everything, and she wants to apologize to John for all the things that she said to him or said about him.
That's awesome.
That's
really great.
Yeah.
No, that,
so I might, like, go to Starbucks or something, because she said that there's one, like, right next to her house, so.
That's awesome. I like that. I like that a lot. That's kind of very similar to what you and I did when we started talking again. I sent we did, and we all said it was our birthday.
Yeah, to get free dessert.
We're always free dessert, bitches. But yes, we absolutely did. Oh, honey, the plant has been blocking your face.
I know. I've been peeking through it. Like,
oh, okay. Okay, I was making sure.
I've been going like this.
It's like, I'm a piranha.
I'm letting it drain, so.
Got it, okay.
Yeah, and it gives them an opportunity to look at my cute plants.
Cute plant.
This is a rattlesnake calathea. I told Jordy, I said, if you thought Andromeda was dramatic, wait till you meet Ichi.
Dude, Andromeda ain't got nothing on this little tiger.
She's so dramatic.
She's very dramatic.
She's so dramatic.
She's like, pick me up. Wait a second. I don't want you to. Wait, no, pick me up again, bitch.
You're the wrong person. Don't touch me. But yeah, so it was a lot of healing, conversation, apologies, talking, that kind of thing about, you know, some pretty serious shit that happened that made me think that we were never, ever going to speak again. John and I have come to the agreement that, you know, we are taking this very, very slowly. This is going to be a, you know, we keep each other at arm's length. And she has agreed to all of that, because I told her, I was like, this is how John and I feel about it. This is how we would like to proceed. We want to be very, very slow, not, you know, become like ultimate best friends, like nothing ever happened, you know, in the span of 2 weeks. That's just not going to happen. I can't do that to myself. I don't want to do that to you.
There's been too much that's gone on.
There's too much that's happened, too much that's been said that just makes us very, very uncomfortable and worried that we're going to get burned again.
Well, and
because I got burned like hell.
And that's the thing, is that I don't think, because I'm trying
and she agreed to all of it. Like,
which is appreciated.
She told me,
which is super appreciated.
Yeah, she told me, she was like, we'll do this by your rules, whatever you want. You know, I'm not going to pressure either of you into anything, because even though John's still kind of hesitant about even going over there to go see her sometime next week. I don't know that it's time to go see her in person, and I was like, that's why I mentioned like the going to get coffee or something, like somewhere public, not in her house, that kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
meet both her and her boyfriend at the same time.
Yeah,
that kind of
thing.
No,
and I totally get that. Like, I see a lot of the similarities of what's happening here with what happened between you and I. I think a lot of the difference is the accusations that were made, because a lot of what happened between you and I were personal. There was some publicity to it, but it was more in vague posts, and it was very, I don't think I ever raised anything like what happened. And while I was involved as well in all of this, with Joe specifically, I wasn't. Like, Joe and I didn't really exchange words other than through through someone else. Or Devin. It was Devin.
Child.
It was Devin.
It was Devin. Because Devin's the one that threatened my livelihood.
Yes. And so the worst they said to me was that I was a puppy dog who followed her around, which here's the thing. I am not usually a vindictive, hurtful person, but they went after someone I truly, truly cared about, and I was not okay with that. Yeah. And so while I crossed a line, and I will publicly say that I am sorry for crossing that line. Yeah. That was not okay. I could bring you guys into it, but not bring the innocent people into it. And that was on me. Yeah. And so I am truly, truly sorry for doing such a thing. Yeah.
And I told her that it was you just wished inconvenience on them.
Exactly. And that is, and I was going to say, so, and I am so sorry for saying that. And that was a line I crossed. And I am truly sorry for that. That being said, the reason I even placed that out there was because I was defending my friend. I was like, no, we're not doing this. You're not going to sit there and hurt the person who bends over backwards for so many people. And yes, has moments of selfishness, as we all fucking do, but that shouldn't be held against them as a crime. Yeah. And I was angry. And it's still the thought of people hurting my best friend. This is why we're best friends. Because the thought of someone hurting that person makes me a little rage ball.
Physically angry.
A little rage ball. This is my person. This is my little person. But no, this is my person. Like, this is my ride or die. You don't hurt my ride or die. Sorry. Yeah. But like I said, I did cross a line. Yeah. And I am truthfully and sincerely apologetic for it. That was wrong of me to do.
Yeah. I'll say there were some things that, like, I told Jordy that I apologized for too, because there were some things that I said that I didn't believe happened to her, and that is very victim blaming of me on both accounts in which that I did it, and so I apologized sincerely for that.
Can we name this episode?
And I still do.
Can we name this episode?
I fucked up. I'm sorry.
A story about relationships and healing.
Yes, yeah.
I fucked up. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
An apology to Joe.
Right, yeah.
Just to Joe. The others. No, I'm kidding.
No.
But no.
Fuck 'em.
No, there were things said, and that's why this is about healing and growing and relationships, because we all make mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
We all do things that are out of turn.
I've lost and gained friends so many fucking times, and usually it's the exact same, like, 4 people. Over and over and over again.
I think we only had twice, though. I think me and you only had,
it's
like,
true,
twice.
Yeah.
Out of everyone.
And this is honestly, I will say, this is actually the first time that I have ever had, like, a real issue with Cousin.
Oh, yeah. No.
Because
that's what I was going to say.
we even talked about that.
Yeah. No, that's what I was going to say. It's like, other than Cousin, you've had the least amount of beef with me.
Yeah.
Cousin is the one who has literally been there since day one. Oh, yeah. And has never had this kind of an issue where blocked, not talking, hate you type thing.
I don't know who climbed up her ass and died, but... Yeah,
so, but, yeah, no, it's, other than Cousin, I think we've had the least amount of beef.
Yeah.
Oh, no! Not the vape!
Not the... down.
Puffs down! Puffs down!
Pots down.
Oh, pots down, yes.
Pots
I said
down.
puffs down.
Right there.
Hell yeah.
I'll just have to move it.
But yeah, no, and we're all about growth, and we're all about learning, and we all make mistakes, and what matters is owning it, and not an I'm sorry if I did this. It's not an if, because that is taking off the blame from you. It's sorry that I did that. And that is something we actually talked about with some of the family trauma I'm going through. It's not an if. You need to, one, if you are unsure of if something is wrong, ask. Say, did I do this? Just flat out ask them. Say, I am unsure if I did this. Please tell me if I've done this. And if they say, yes, you've done this, then take ownership. Say, I'm sorry I did that. I was in the wrong. Just flat out admit it. Say, I did this. Like, I was giving so many reasons for why I said what I said. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what my thought process was at the time. I said a terrible fucking thing. And that's something I have to live with. Yeah. But I am truthfully sorry for saying the awful thing I did. And that is part of that.
And that's like the biggest part of growth too, is the acknowledgement that yes I said or did this thing, and that was wrong of me, and I apologize for doing it. I apologize for how it affected you, and aside from that, he's in the living room crying.
Who is?
Junior.
Oh.
I
thought it was a kitty, and I was like,
he's
what?
upset that Mom's outside and he's not. And so, but that's like the biggest part of growth, is like acknowledging the fact that yes, this happened. Yes, I did this, and I'm sorry for doing it. I'm sorry about how it affected you, and as a person who is growing and maturing and learning from my mistakes, will do my abject best to not let that happen again.
And acknowledges that this is a shameful thing to have done, or a bad thing to have done. But yes, it is about, if you apologize and then you continue to do the thing, you're not actually...
Yeah, you're not actually sorry.
You're not actually sorry.
You actually haven't learned a fucking lesson.
Yeah. I was going to say, even if... no, I just... no. You need to look at what you do, and and maybe have some humility and shame with it.
Yeah. Shame is part of learning.
Like, I feel genuinely bad for what I do.
There's some shit I've done that I'm ashamed about. Like, and even when I tried to own up to it, sometimes it gets thrown back in your face.
Yes. But
people use it as ammo against you, but at least you owned up to it. At least you are the bigger person for owning up to it, even if the other party decides to use it as ammo against you.
Exactly. And you are not responsible for how others react to your apology.
Yep.
Your job,
use that information.
Exactly. Your job is to be honest and to be open and to do your best to cause
the least amount of harm as possible.
Exactly. And how, unfortunately, when you show not necessarily just toxic behavior, but when you have done things that hurt people, they are allowed to react how they react. Granted, they shouldn't use that information against you. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that they will react how they will react, and you cannot control that. What you can control is your actions.
Yeah. Yep.
Gosh, this is so dark and serious.
It's a heavy topic.
It's a heavy topic.
It's maturity and growth and learning from your mistakes and owning up and being a better fucking person.
Yeah.
And trying to be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be, even if it sucks.
Truth.
And what you'd really rather do is just be a lying, conniving piece of shit.
I mean, no, I don't, but okay.
Sorry, that's the Slytherin in me.
I'm a Hufflepuff, hence why I said no.
You're like, no, honesty, kindness. And I'm like, nah, fuck them. Does it benefit me? Then fuck it. Sorry. That's my Slytherin. I don't mean it.
No.
At least not in the entirety of the sense.
Yeah, no. The reason, see, it's so funny. Let's get off topic for a little bit because I want to talk about Slytherins and Hufflepuffs.
Sure.
One of the best ways I learned.
We gotta talk about Harry Potter in a podcast.
Oh my God, yes. Bringing up Harry Potter, I am, like I said, a Hufflepuff. She is, like she said, a Slytherin. We are Harry Potter nerds. I am going to get this fixed. I might even try to fix it myself, or I might just go to Roman. I might just go to Roman, the one who did that.
And, that's true.
Give him $100 and say, help me. Help. So anyway,
oh, look at my new baby leaf.
He's a baby leaf.
This is my philodendron burl marks. And you need a new baby leaf.
Can you see which kind it was? It's so cool. It's so soft. It's so soft.
Oh, it is.
Uh-huh.
It's got,
these are coming up
extra floral nectaries. It's got little drops of dew. Like, yeah, like feel this. It's sticky.
Really?
Like, feel the right there. See how sticky it is? That's the nectar that it puts out in order to prevent pests.
Heck yeah! Look at you.
So the lots of tons and tons and tons of philodendrons do this. I'm gonna go on a rant for a second.
Yeah, let's do it.
Tons and tons and tons of different kinds of philodendrons will do this. They'll excrete out of their extra floral nectaries this kind of like sappy substance that's really sticky, and it attracts ants. And ants and plants have a very symbiotic relationship where the ants will eat the nectar off of the plants and in turn also prevent the plant from getting pests because the ants will eat the pests off the plant. So it feeds the ants and protects the plant at the same time.
Interesting. That's cool.
Love that shit. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Cool.
So yeah, that's why philodendrons have sticky sap on them like that.
Oh, I was just gonna say that like Slytherins, the way I always talk about, no, you're good. You're good. What I was gonna say is like what I always understood or how I understood. Look at the little roots.
There's roots popping out of the water.
Look at the little hairs on the roots.
Uh-huh.
So cool. I was gonna say that Slytherins, it's not just that they're like, fuck yeah, everyone. It's all about rules. Every house is about rules. And like Slytherins, they just make their own set of rules. They abide by their rules, but they make their own set of rules. And that's kind of what it is. They make the rules that benefit them, but they will abide by them.
Yeah.
Whereas Hufflepuffs, we will only abide by rules that don't hurt people. Okay. Because Slytherins are ruthless, they care about, but they do care about rules. Their own rules usually, but rules nonetheless. They will impose parameters and limitations on themselves just so that they have a framework to operate within. If doing something means violating their own internal code, then they're not going to do it. Even fucking Voldemort is like that. He broke every single fucking rule in the wizarding world ever put in place, but damn if he'd break his own.
Yep.
And then there's Hufflepuffs. They emphasize equality. You were just saying that. If the playing field is equal, then all other good things will come from there. People hear that and then they think Hufflepuffs are pushovers. What does everyone say?
I know, right?
They cast them as the shy ones, the fearful ones, the insecure ones. Really, they're none of these things. They are nice, accepting, friendly. That is all true. But they are also entirely willing to fight anyone that steps up to the plate talking shit. Hufflepuffs will defend themselves and other people, themselves as a she, and other people until they drop dead. And it's infuriating to see that only ever attributed to Gryffindors, because the big difference is that Gryffindors believe in accepting and acceptable casualties, and a Hufflepuff will knock your down your fucking throat for even suggesting such a disgusting idea. For Hufflepuffs, there are no acceptable casualties. Any loss of life is utterly unacceptable.
Yeah.
Which is part of why I was like, that was not a Hufflepuff trait of me. That was a Gryffindor coming out, and I am better than that.
Yeah.
We are better than that.
It's true. Hiding behind my plant again.
But it's a cute plant.
It is. It's a cute plant. It's not a plant.
It's a cute plant.
The other thing that I'm doing, just in case anyone's wondering why I'm spraying shit all over my plants, this is a mixture of isopropyl alcohol, 91%, by the way. I found it at CVS. Most of the time, isopropyl alcohol is like 70%.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, I've never seen it.
The kind I have is 91%, and I was like,
that's
give me that.
That's beautiful.
So I have 91% isopropyl alcohol, hydrogen peroxide, a little bit of Dawn dish soap, like literally a couple of drops, and some warm water. And that is used to treat and prevent pests, more specifically spider mites. Oh, okay. We talked about Harry Potter. I went on my tangent about my plants. So back to relationships and boundaries. All right.
We're having a great time, guys.
So we can, what? Oh, whatever. Here. Have some pest privilege.
No! It seems red. Well, maybe, no, spray me all over.
It'll keep you from getting spider mites.
I just want you to keep away the pests. I don't care about Spider-Man.
Ew.
Ew.
No, let's see. Do you have different types of relationships? Because we'll go with like, maybe like categories, describe them.
So my love maps were very screwed up from a very young age. So I didn't know. I didn't know how to differentiate friend love from romantic love. Yeah, so I fell in love with, I think, almost every single best friend I've had. So like my first best friend, oh God, what should we call her? Hatter. Let's call her Hatter. She was my first best friend starting in 4th grade. And then we went to band. It was very much, again, this was during trauma years as well. Let's preface this by saying that. Yeah. So I was very much puppy dog. I was very much someone take care of me and lead me around. And I was very much following. But it was also a very toxic relationship. They weren't necessarily a good person. I was not necessarily a good person. And then summer before 9th grade, we went to band camp and I started drama. Well, she called me out for something in front of the whole flag team and I defended myself by telling the entire flag team our drama.
It's like, if you're gonna spread my shit around, I'm gonna spread your shit around.
Yes. And so then we were completely not friends anymore.
Seems fair.
We were on the same flag team, but at the end of every single game or practice, like, she was very friendly to me during, but at the end of every practice, she'd be like, I still hate you.
Okay. Like,
she would leave, and literally, before she would leave, I have such clear memories of her looking back and going, I still hate you. I said,
okay.
All right. And then,
heads up, I guess.
And then my brother was going through a lot of heavy shit, which affected the family. And I had my, not my first mental breakdown, but my first one without her. And I couldn't take it, and I begged my mother to call her. I said, I'm literally having a panic attack. I just need to talk to her. because she was my best friend and I needed my best friend. And she did, and she calmed me down, and I think at that point we were no longer enemies, but we still weren't friends.
Yeah.
And then we didn't talk until after high school, but I think what I was meaning by saying all of this was that we were, I think somewhere along the line I fell in love with her. And so part of how I reacted and the things I needed her for were very much seen to me as a romantic thing when they weren't. And then we became friends way later on, and then she cheated on her man and I told him, and that was the whole thing. But then me and you started being friends in high school, and we actually started because I think we had a major crush on each other. Because we were gonna do some stuff, and then some other stuff happened, and we were like, nope. Or I said no, we couldn't do stuff, and then we got into a huge fight, and then we became friends after that. Yeah. It's a very, very weird, complicated story. Yeah. Children.
It is what it is. You know.
Yeah. We were kids. It's all good.
Sure, you don't really know what romantic versus friend love is, and so
exactly. And so you seek all of it in everyone.
Also, especially when you're a really young attention whore. Me.
I wasn't saying jack shit. I just nod and I just agree and nod. Agree, nod and smile. There we go. Nod and smile. That doesn't fit. I need.
But yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, there's like the difference between, you know, friends, family, acquaintances, coworkers. There's all kinds of different relationships, and then sometimes those get a little muddled.
Sorry, I kind of went on a tangent there.
No, that's cool. That's what this podcast is for tangents.
Is it? Okay, cool.
That's what we do.
It is what we do.
Tangent all the time.
But yeah, no, there's many different, but like I said, my love maps were very confused. So like, even though me and her were just friends for years and years and years, I kind of fell in love with her at some point, and not in a necessarily romantic way, but it was like a fall in love of a possessive type. It was a very toxic type. I was like, I don't want her to be anyone else's friend. She's my friend. I want all of her time. When she had to spend time with John, I want all of her. It was, and then we lived together.
That went swimmingly.
I'm surprised we did not set the house on fire.
Yeah.
It was not a good time. We learned a lot about each other in that time. But
I mean, as one does when they live with their best friend. Like,
and we were also, this was also again during very toxic time for me, and I don't know that
I was also under a really big, shitty, toxic influence.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know that you were
told me how I should react to things.
Yeah, but she told me how to act.
Yeah.
But she told me how to act.
Told you how to act and told me how to react to the way that she told you to act.
So there was a puppet master. Oh my god! Oh my god! Realization moment.
This is why we don't speak to that person anymore.
Realization moment. She was pulling the fucking strings.
Oh, yeah.
She was the one who told me to stop talking to you. I'm not joking. She said,
I want to shove a cactus up this woman's asshole.
She was the one who was originally like, if you're having this many issues with her, maybe it's time that you stop being friends with her.
I want to shove a cactus.
She was the one who planted the goddamn idea. Granted, how it was handled was my fault. I'll take ownership of how it was handled, but she was.
Because look at this bitch, she's long. She long.
She is long.
But I was going to take some of these smaller bits and wrap them back up in the dirt so that way she could be a more... do like this. And shove the nodes into the dirt.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Plant, but,
kind of like...
I don't know where the bobby pins are, so I guess I'll do it.
We'll do it later. It's all good.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Relationships. Maturity. So maturity is what just fucking happened. Healing is what just fucking happened. Or realization. Maturity. All of the above. Something just fucking happened. Yeah. And now we're like, okay, well.
Now we know that's a thing.
Now we know that's a thing. Now we are recognizing that that was a thing. But yeah, so we lived together, and that was absolutely fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Which apparently was by design too, as well as toxicities that I was bringing in. And so, that stopped. And then, like, we were good friends for a while, and then the kind of realization of, I had the realization that we were toxic, but I did not have the realization of what those toxicities were. So I was blaming the wrong things for our toxicities, and then also manifested that into something nasty and ugly and unneeded. And so then we stopped being friends.
Honestly, how dare you?
I know. I'm a terrible person. I keep telling you. I say this all the fucking time. No one listens to me. I literally say I'm a terrible fucking person. Just because I laugh at it doesn't mean it's not true. But I am actually working to be a better person. So I guess that's what makes the difference.
Isn't everyone? Well, okay, isn't most people?
No. Most people are just trying to get by day by day. And don't have the mental focus to focus on anything other than getting by day by day. That is most people nowadays. So the ones who actually have time to grow are prioritizing. But not everyone has the...
Well, sometimes they're doing a little bit of both.
Well, yeah, but not everyone has the ability to...
We're surviving so we can thrive.
Damn straight. That's what we do. Hell yeah.
Yeah, no, my,
Now your turn to talk about heavy shit.
It's fine. I had a very, in-depth and it's kind of suede-y, almost leathery feeling.
Yeah. It's really pretty.
Thanks.
I was like, it's not velvet.
It's my
it's something.
Skin Dapsis.
Is that a new one?
This one? No, it's an old leaf.
Oh, is it just...
She's curling because she's old and because she's thirsty.
Ah.
These little tiny baby ones are the new ones.
Oh, it's one of those ones. I didn't know. Some of them... Okay, so one thing I've learned about leaves, really random, quick, individual, thank you,
that's my bad.
moment, is
I'll go get a towel.
It's okay, it's okay.
While you talk.
I'm fine. Oh, that's not though. Okay. I see what you're saying. But one of the things I've learned is that some leaves... they unfurl at their size, or they unfurl at a really big size and then get bigger. And then some start out as tiny little baby leaves and then they grow. And so I just didn't know.
Yeah, like Marantas are the ones that start out all curled up, or some of them. Yeah. Some
yeah,
of them
like
so wonderful, all curled up.
Yeah.
And then other ones they like Hoyas start out small and then grow bigger.
Can I get a Hoya?
Hoya. But yeah, no, my, relationships for me.
Yeah, your turn.
I didn't have a ton of friends whenever I was young. And we'll even go back to whenever I was real young. I still didn't have a whole lot of friends. Part of it was being homeschooled. Which was honestly kind of fine because it made these small relationships, or the small number of friends that I had way closer than me just having like a bajillion kind of friends. I had like 3 or 4 friends.
Yeah, I think
which is kind of how I've been since then. I
think it was Cousin, Butterface, and was it Joe?
Yeah. Whenever I was young,
I was gonna say I remember Cousin. I remember Cousin and Butterface. Okay.
Joe no, and the twins, Brooke and Brandy.
Are they twins?
No, but I'm just gonna call them the twins.
No, that's fine. That threw me off. So I was like,
I was trying to.
I didn't know how young they were.
Say without saying their names and like a way to describe.
No, that's fine, and we can cut that out. I just didn't know. I literally.
They're
didn't
not
know.
twins.
I was like,
Brandy's
really?
like a year older, or was a year older than her sister.
Rest in peace, Brandy.
I know, right? you know, I was friends with them because they were Girl Scouts, so they're way back.
I didn't know that. I thought they were homeschooled.
Well, both, but mostly Girl Scouts.
That's well, yeah. I just know that you started the homeschool togetherness later on, so that's why I was thinking younger. So that's why I was like, I didn't know how young twins were.
Yeah.
Or how young you were when you met twins.
Yeah. See, Butterface I met because she lived literally across the street from me. Whenever I was young. And so we became friends that way.
Cousin
I've known literally my entire life.
Cousin is cousin.
Literally her entire life because I was born first.
Hey, that's the same with me and my cousin.
And so they were like first, and then probably after that, I would say the people that I knew from Girl Scouts, which was the twins,
Rose,
and nope.
Oh no, Rose wasn't Girl Scouts. Rose was homeschool.
Not even that. She was after that.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I'll say I met her after we were already out of the homeschool group.
Ah, didn't know that.
Yeah. No, she was.
I'm learning new shit.
I'll say Rose met the twins because they were doing some homeschool group type of thing.
Yes.
But then I met Rose through the twins.
Got it. Okay, so, that's what I was misunderstanding. Yeah. Okay.
Because she was like hanging out at their house one day and then tried to convince me that she was dating Taylor Lautner's twin. Yeah. Which is just... it's beautiful. I love that. I love bringing it up.
Compulsive liars
I
are
love
so
bringing
funny.
it up, especially to her, because it just makes me laugh.
Does she get mad about it or does she laugh?
She laughs, but she's like, oh my god, I can't believe you still remember that. And I was like, bitch, how the fuck am I supposed to forget that?
You literally
that's literally how I met you. Is because we were hanging out at the twins' house and
you tried to
you're like, hey, oh my god, I'm talking to his twin brother. Look, this is what he looks like. And she literally shows me like a stock image of Jacob from Twilight. And then she tried to like play it off.
This bitch was bored.
Like she was talking to him
on the phone,
on the phone, except for the screen was black, or it would literally be like text messages from her mom. It was.
Rose was a fun one.
It was a time in my life.
Rose was a funny one.
Yeah.
We love the compulsive liars.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Which I say this because I was one. So like, don't come for me.
Great. Love that. But yeah, so that was the thing. That's how I met her. That relationship, we could go into that.
That was a toxic bitch one.
Yeah. What's toxic, and yet somehow I found myself unable to not have we'll go with this, a sexual attraction.
Yeah.
To her.
Yeah.
Something about her charisma, her... I don't know, just
you
something
fell
about
hard.
Her.
You fell hard.
Yeah,
you always had something for
her. Yeah. Just drew me to her over and over and over and over again.
Yep.
And I just could not
stay away.
Not want to be around her, talk to her. Until much later in life, where I was like, nah, you crazy. I'm out of here. No, I can't do that. And then I didn't talk to her for a few years, and then she
came back, and she was like,
I'm better.
I'm healthy.
I'm doing things. And I was like, okay, cool. We can be friends again. And then,
And then it became the back and forth again.
Yeah. It was just this whole toxic relationship that I had.
We had a whole friend group about this. This is what we were talking about with the Joe shit.
Yeah. I'll say, and then cousin, like, I've literally known her since she was a baby. And we grew up together. Like, I have pictures of her and I whenever she's like, I don't know, 5, 6. Us playing with my Barbie airplane. And she's like missing 3 teeth. Because it's funny, pretty much every picture that my mother has of cousin and she's smiling, she's missing at least 1 tooth. Because like whenever she's a child, because like she's going, like she loses a tooth, and like it just was a coincidence that every time that we hung out and took pictures, my mom would take pictures of her, she would have just lost a tooth, and so then she would be missing a tooth in every picture.
That's amazing.
It was great. Yeah, so it's just, I don't know, my relationships were few and far between, but deep as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have anybody that I didn't, like, trust with my life.
Yeah, you were, like, a do-or-die 110% in it type person.
And I still kind of am. Like, if
you fuck with them, you fuck with them.
Oh, yeah. If I, you know, if I give you my time and energy and effort and trust, then I give it to you all or nothing. And it sucks because frequently, because of the fact that I am the way that I am, and the fact that I trust so easily and give myself over so easily, I get burned a lot. And that is self-deprecating because of the fact that I will give chances over and over and over and over and over again.
And get burned.
And get burned over and over and over and over and over again.
Which is why her husband is so fucking protective of her.
It's true.
And why I've learned to be so protective of her too. Because I've only had a couple chances, and even I'm like, that was a little too much.
It's a very self-destructive behavior that I have. And I'm trying my hard to...
But it comes from a genuinely good place, which is why it's so hard. Because you can look at a behavior and be like, oh, okay, that's toxic, I'll fix that. But when you look at a behavior and you go, but it's genuinely a good, heartfelt thing that you're trying to do, it's so much harder to look at that and be like, it's so much harder to be like, it's so much harder to be like, well, I should fix that. Like, what are you supposed to fix when you're just trying to be a good person?
Yeah.
Like, it's such a double-edged sword. And it's so hard to do those kind of things.
Yeah. Because it, like, makes you feel like you either keep getting burned by continuing to be a good person and be, in a lot of cases, the better person. By trying to open yourself up to people and give them the benefit of the doubt and try to open yourself up to them and show that you trust them with certain secrets or information, or, you know, your feelings or things that have happened to you, like your past traumas. Like, if you try to, like, if you, like, are having a conversation with someone and you trauma dump on them, like, you are putting essentially your heart in their hands, and
I'm guilty
does
of
you
that.
trying to, like, be open and trusting of this other person with the expectation and the hope that they will do the right thing with it.
But that's not always the case.
I'll say, but it sucks because a lot of the times they don't.
Yeah, and that's actually not,
especially if they're a bad person. If you give it to the right person, then, you know, it's fine. But a lot of the times people don't do the right thing.
Yeah, and not to take away from that, but that's also part of what has made dating hard for me, at least, because I have no idea how to date without trauma dumping by not even intentionally. Well, except for that one guy where we, like, flat out said, hey, let's list all of our red flags.
Yeah.
Which was hilarious.
Yeah.
And it was a really productive conversation, too. He just ended up deciding it wasn't worth it, and I was like, well, that's really shitty, but...
Oh, well, you suck.
Alright, life goes on. But, yeah, it makes forming new connections with people who haven't seen the trauma very difficult. Because you trauma dump, and they're like, and a lot of people just get overwhelmed in general, not just even in romantic relationships, but in friendship relationships. People are like, holy shit, you are damaged. I don't know what to do
with this, like.
Which is why we have a group chat called American Trauma Dolls, because we all trauma dumped on each other at a party while we were drunk, and now we're all friends. Hey, group chat. Yeah. Thanks to Jules, who is also our trauma friend.
Yeah.
Hey, Jules. But yeah, no, it's just 9 times out of 10, it just doesn't. It's just not a thing. It doesn't end up working in your favor.
Yeah.
And it's something that you're working on.
Because then your other option is to not tell anyone anything, which is shitty.
See, but it's not. It's not. That's the thing. Is it's learning the balance of how much you can trust, like, and what you can trust them with. That was part of, remember when we had you, me, and cousin in the group chat, and then we made a new group chat with Rose because we were I wanted to gauge how much I could trust. And so I was letting little pieces in, and then eventually I told the group chat about that trauma thing that happened. And I trusted them with that, but there were other things that I still did not trust them with. And so I wanted to keep that for myself. And that's
all pissy about it.
Well, cousin decided to let her know that we were keeping this secret group, and I was like, it wasn't meant as a secret group, it was meant as a boundary for me.
Yeah.
That if I wasn't comfortable sharing something with you yet, I could share it with my inner circle.
Yeah.
So it was a very misunderstood situation.
There was a lot of red flags when it came to cousin as far as that was concerned, because we would say things that were like in confidence, that were in private, that she would then go and tell someone, and we'd be like, I told you not to say anything, why did you do that? And that happened a lot.
See, I only ever had that happen, I think those 2 times in that last couple days.
It happened a lot even outside of you being in the group chat. That happened a lot. And so now looking back on that, I was like, she was shit starting.
Yeah, and it's just not worth it. It's just not. So now it's like
starting drama and then being like, I was just passing along information. I was like, I told you not to. Like the whole point of this, and I even prefaced it with I'm saying this in confidence. This is why I'm saying it here, not in front of this person. And she was like, yeah, okay, that's fine. And then she would go and fucking tell him anyway.
See, and that's why and that's the thing, is I react so harshly to that, because if I trust you with something, especially with specializing outside of my toxicities, because I used to do that all the time. I would do that all the time. I would, someone would tell me something and I'd be like, well, you're talking shit about this person, but I like this person more, so I'm going to tell them. And then they would do something shitty and I'd be like, well, I like this person better, so now I'm going to tell them everything. Yeah. And it was just a back and forth, and it's such a toxic trait. And I've worked so hard to correct that when people do that shit to me, I have no tolerance anymore.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when that happened in the chat where
it's just shit pot stirring. It's just
when that happened, I flat out said,
making drama for drama's sake.
I was like, I have the group for my boundary, but I know exactly where you got that information because only one person would have told you. And now I no longer want to talk to this person. And I flat out said that to both groups. I said, I get it. I know now where we stand. I'm out.
Yeah.
Like, because we're not going to do this back and forth. And I was very proud of that moment, because I've never had that confidence to just be like, you're a piece of shit. You did me wrong. I'm done.
Yeah.
I've never had that confidence.
You did me dirty when I asked you not to, and you said okay.
Yeah. And so I've never had the confidence to just be like, fuck you, I'm not doing this anymore, and walk away point blank without the back and forth and the forgiveness and all that shit. Like, no, you fucking shit on me. You decided to betray my boundary for your own benefit.
Yep.
And that is unacceptable.
For the sake of drama.
For the sake of drama. Because what other reason for it?
It didn't benefit her in any way.
Yeah.
So it was, for the sake of drama.
We really weren't even talking shit on her. But we weren't even talking crap on Rose anymore in the group chat. Like, we weren't doing any of that. The only time I talked to the group chat was when I was going through something that I didn't want Rose to be a part of.
Yeah.
And that was my boundary that I was...
information that she didn't need to be privy to at that time.
Exactly. And so...
Or it was information that you weren't comfortable with her having because you weren't at that level of trust yet.
Exactly.
And you weren't sure if you were ever going to be. And so it was something that was setting confidence to just me and a person that you trusted at the time.
Whereas her and Rose were friends for years and years, I was friends with Kylie, or I met Kylie at Passages.
Yeah. Passages. It was a underage LGBTQ plus...
held in a basement. Held in a church basement.
Church basement. Yeah, it was like a group dance, you know.
It was a way for underage LGBT kids to just hang out and be themselves.
Yeah.
That's literally what it was.
It was a safe haven for the community.
Exactly. And so
I know, that thing's a pain to open.
It's not working.
It's all opened. It's just
perfect.
still in the packaging.
But so my cousin actually was like, hey, let's, there's this LGBT dance I heard about, because she was gay. She was flat out gay. At this point, she was gay. She is now, I think, just queer, as in she goes whatever happens at that moment. Yeah. She's very fluid about it. But at the time, it was, don't ever touch me with a dick. And so,
Peen is a no-go.
Yeah. And I was not newly bi, but I was still coming into my experience. And she's like, let's go to this gay dance. And I was like, hell yeah. And I met Kylie. And she was there with, I think, No, Joe couldn't go at the time. She was, no. You were there with,
No, she was there because
you were there with cousin. Huh?
Because we all went to the,
That prom was years later, honey.
Long then. Because I know Joe.
You were there with someone.
For a while. Because I think she got to start going whenever she turned like 13 or 14, something like that. Because you could go between certain ages.
Yeah, prom was like 2 years later, because in between that, we added each other on Facebook and didn't actually start being friends until you commented on my picture of the cherry blossoms.
Yeah.
And I remember that vividly. I remember the picture too, because it was outside of my cousin's apartment complex. And I just looked up and took the picture, and then you commented on it, and then we decided to hang out. And yeah. But before that, well, not, I guess it wasn't before that.
Oh no.
We weren't like super close after that. We hung out a little bit, but we weren't super close. But then Rose messaged me, because I'm guessing Rose was sus, because, you know, she always had a thing for you too. So she was like, who is this new person in my bae's life? And so, and so then me and her became real good friends. I have so many pictures of me and Rose on my Facebook. We were super close friends for a very long time. And then she was cheating on her boyfriend. We had many fights, but the one that like really did us in, she was cheating on her boyfriend who lived in Arizona. And I told my cousin, and she was like, we need to tell him, that's super fucked up. And I was like, yeah, that seems fair. Yeah. So we told him, and then her and her mother proceeded to
start shit
and threatened to call like DFS on my cousin's mom, and just like a bunch of bullshit.
Petty crap.
So that was the end of our friendship. But she and I have had pulling, that was just like part of the bullshit that happened with me and Rose.
Yeah.
But you and Rose, you were talking about how you guys met and you guys' relationship.
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty much just like off and on. Lots of sexual tension, you know. We got caught kissing in front of we were at a party at some point, or like sleepover. I think it was a party, like somebody's birthday party. And she and I got caught kissing outside behind one of the cars. And we got in lots of trouble for that. Because, you know, that's what I do.
Ridiculous.
I get in trouble for kissing girls. Technically, she's really the one that got in trouble. Me, not so much.
Your mom didn't give a shit.
No, my mom didn't care.
Which is so funny.
My mom was like, "You want to kiss girls? Okay." It was really.
I love how
it was really Rose's mom that was like salty about it.
Your mom is hilarious because of how
that Rose's mom didn't want her to like.
Oh no.
Date me.
Oh no.
So like didn't want her to be.
Well, your mom was like
tried to convince Rose that like her attraction to me was only for attention, and it was for the purpose of like, you know, being rebellious, or it was part of her like mental health disorder or whatever. Like,
oh, she's crazy.
So she likes you because she's nuts, and she wants to get back at me.
Yeah.
The fuck? Okay, sure, whatever.
Which all I was wanting to say was like, it's so funny how your mom is so like, your mother was so controlling over certain aspects, but then when it came to like kissing and making out and doing stuff, she was like, okay.
Yeah. Like, I got to...
She had a sexual awakening early.
Yeah.
But she's hot, so
like...
No, I'm kidding. She was a child. Let's keep this legit.
Yeah. Let's be PG about it.
When I was a child, I thought her as a child was hot.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Or at least underage. Not of legal age or whatever.
There we go.
Yeah.
Not a natural, like, child. And so it was Rose, and then it was me, you, Rose. But yeah, so then it was me, you, cousin, Rose, and Joe.
Yep.
For years. It was us 5.
Yep, I'll say we even drove out to El Paso to go visit Joe.
We did. That was a fun... I still
me
remember...
Me and Mom drove out to El Paso to go visit Joe.
Oh my god, that trip...
That was a dramatic ass time in my life. Mostly because of my darling mother. That was rough.
What was going on during that time?
Mom had broken up with Nina, and so she was all dramatic about that, and then she was like, I just want to... And she, like, used me to stalk her to see what she was doing, and then eventually, like...
She was behaving like us.
She couldn't take it anymore, so she messaged her, and...
She was behaving like us.
She was behaving exactly like us. And then it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. And I was like, Mom, you have got to stop. Like, if Nina is not willing to put in the effort of this relationship, then you need to let it be what it is. Like, you need to let her go and let her go have her little hoe moment. Because that's what it was all about, was that Nina was like, I want to have, you know, other people in our... I want to go have sex with other people. And my mom was like, no, not comfortable with that.
But, okay. And here's my 2 cents for 2 seconds. I should totally make that a segment. Here's my 2 cents for 2 seconds.
Yeah, right?
That was literally how Nina and your mom met.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, did you not... I'm so sorry, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but did you not ever think that was going to come up again?
Yeah.
That was literally how they met.
Yeah. Was because Nina and Michelle wanted to add a person to their sexual relationship.
Yeah.
To their dynamic.
Yeah. And so...
They thought that my mom was hot because they met her at a Halloween party.
I do remember that story.
Thought that she was hot, and we're like, hey.
Where Nina walked over and was like,
mess around with us or whatever, and she was like, it's okay.
But no, that's literally how they met, so I don't understand. I understand where she was like, no, but I don't understand where afterwards she was like, oh my god, but oh my god, but oh my god. It's like, girl, you knew. Yeah. You knew that they were like this. Mm-hmm.
And that Nina was like this, especially with Nina going through her transition. Like, that was bringing up all kinds of hormones.
Yeah, so of course
she's literally on hormone therapy, and so she's like, you know, she's a little randy because of all the hormones and stuff.
Which is understandable.
Yeah, and so, you know, she was asking for this. She had an ask, and Mom said no, and Nina was like, all right, fine. Well, then I don't think that we can be together. And Mom was like, are you fucking kidding me? And Nina was like, no, I don't think that we can be together if I can't go sleep with other people. And Mom just freaked out about it.
Kind of sucks, but that's Nina's choice.
Yeah.
Like,
and that sucks. Like, that, you know,
it sucks.
That really sucks for Mom, but like, it's on Nina at that point. Like, that was Nina's decision. Can you get down, please? Thank you. Yeah, that was Nina's decision. You know, it wasn't up to Mom at that point. Like, even though it sucked for Mom, that wasn't up to her. Mm-hmm. Nina wanted what she wanted. Mom couldn't fulfill or didn't want to fulfill her needs, and so she said, fine, I'll go find him somewhere else.
And so
But so she's all freshly broken up with and everything, and so we decided to go drive down to El Paso to kind of get Mom's mind off of things, because she was debating on whether or not she even wanted to go, and then I was like, no, we need to go so you can get your mind off stuff and we can go do other things and have a good time and see Jordy and hang out and all that other stuff and get your mind off of this. And just like the whole drive down there and the whole drive home, it was just crying and me talking to her and telling her about how I understand the loneliness and wishing that you could just talk to them and that things were different.
Yeah, weren't you and John on
our break at that time?
On your break, yep.
And so I was trying to give Mom all of this like really good advice and talking to her about it, and she was like, and then she said that she was jealous of my group chat.
Oh,
yes. Because people don't like her friends. Or at least what friends she had at the time, didn't really talk to her all that much, or had their own adult lives that they had stuff to do, and they didn't really communicate very much, no matter how much my mother tried to initiate conversations with them, or like invite them to things, or they just didn't, they didn't reciprocate very much. And so she was like, I'm really jealous of your group chat, and I was, I wish I had like a group chat to be in too, like to hang out and talk to my friends and have all of these like, people that I could talk to and show pictures to and laugh with and trust with, with some of the stuff that's going on in my mind. And I was like, well, I can always ask the girls if you can be a part of it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have an issue with that, and I don't see why they would have an issue with that. And she was like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah. And so I asked them, and they were like, fuck yeah, Mom can be in the group chat, why not? And so Mom was in the group chat for a while, and then drama ensued.
Yeah. I was not around at that time, and I'm kind of glad about that.
Yeah.
Not to sound bad.
But you've seen the pictures of the drama.
I've seen some of them. Yeah.
Stupid. That was part of the reason why my mother stopped talking to me. Was because I kept calling her out on some of her shit. Because she kept misgendering one of Nina's kids on purpose.
Or they said that she said that she asked them and they said they don't really care, as if they would actually, No,
it was on purpose. It was on purpose that she was misgendering them.
Oh, no, I know. But they flat out said that she asked them if they cared. And that they said no. And I'm like, that's either not true or that's still not okay.
Yeah.
No matter what. Like, you don't misgender people. That's rude.
Yeah. No, and there was one point later on
where she said, I don't care.
I don't care. They're, because they're behaving badly or something. She's like, I don't give a flying fuck what their pronouns are. They are pissing me off right now, so I don't care what their pronouns are. And I was like, that's fucked up.
That's
rude. Not okay.
No.
I don't care how mad you are at somebody.
Oh,
you use their preferred pronouns. Like, that's not okay. Like, even if Rose decided to be transgender or Levi, you're gonna set your
butt on fire.
Thank you. There's a candle.
No, yeah. Oh, you were telling them.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Like, no matter how upset you are at somebody, it's still not right for you to misgender. Like, purposefully.
No, it's
misgender
rude.
them or, like, use the incorrect pronouns. With, like, malicious intent or, being ignorant. Like, it's not okay.
It's not.
And so, yeah, that relationship
really
with my mom kind of, my very, probably the strongest relationship I ever had growing up was with my mother. And that relationship dissolved. Kind of abruptly.
It was a bit of a lead up. There was a small amount of lead up of small fights, small calling outs, not taking responsibility, noticing those toxic behaviors, and then abruptly, because your mom didn't want to take ownership for toxic behaviors and then tried to flip it on you and say that
it was my fault.
Everything was your fault.
And
granted,
that the reason we weren't speaking is because I wasn't talking to her.
Yeah. And it was like, yeah, it was the apartment thing.
Yep.
And then her blaming it all on you.
Took my childhood home right out from underneath me
without a conversation.
Yeah, without a conversation. Even though we had already agreed that she was going to let me move in there. And because she found out that I was dating John again, she said nope and didn't tell me, and neither did my grandmother.
Well, and the excuse was, well,
she didn't want John to ruin.
No. She said it was because you purposefully kept it from her so you could secretly move him in. which was not the case.
Nope.
It was not wanting, it was worried about the reaction of telling her at all. So the house wasn't really the issue. It was the conversation with them, but then they blamed it all on you trying to be sneaky and some shit, which is like, that's not what's going on.
And it doesn't matter that he was going to move in with me, because
it had nothing
the
to do with
apartment
that.
wasn't going to be hers anymore.
Yeah. And she,
like,
but she
be
always said he would live
for
here over my dead body.
Yeah. And like, that he was going to like ruin that apartment that she put blood, sweat, and tears into.
Yeah, painting it.
Like, what the... Yeah. I was like, and yet
Painting
my grandmother moves in and paints over everything that I specifically asked to not be painted over, and then also proceeds to try and kill Kovu's lilies that I specifically said, please let me come dig those up and take them with me. If you decide that you don't want them in your garden anymore, please tell me, I will come collect them.
Kovu's lilies are plants that were planted over her first cat.
Over his grave.
Over his grave, as a remembrance. So it was a very significant request, and I also want to preface this by saying all of those requests to the grandmother of, can you please respect this, were greeted with, yeah, of course I can.
Yeah,
and then none of it was
not
respected.
A problem.
And then none of it was respected.
Yeah, because I even told her, I said, if you decide that you don't want the tiles in my childhood bedroom, actually I specifically said, please don't paint my bedroom, because Mom and I put hours,
of painting,
days worth of painting into my bedroom to make it look like the inside of a castle tower.
Yeah,
and
it did.
And my grandmother painted over everything. And then I also had, it was an ugly ass burnt orange color, and it's like, actually it's like terracotta orange.
It's a little
darker?
more burnt. No, it's a little brighter than that, from what I remember.
Yeah, but it's
gross.
It's gross. It's awful. I hate it. I was pissed. I was so pissed. And then I had linoleum tiles on my bedroom floor.
Yes.
That I let all of my friends paint with nail polish. Like with their signatures, their names, design them however you want. John has one. Brandy had one.
Yeah, I know.
You had one.
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't? No, fuck, you didn't.
I kept telling her. It's so funny. I kept telling her that, hey, I don't have a tile. I want to paint a tile. And she's like, yeah, we'll do it. And then we kept forgetting.
Yeah. But yes, cousin had one. I had a whole bunch of people that came and painted.
Floor had one.
Yep, Floor had one. Rose had one.
Yeah.
Jordy had one.
Lawrence had one.
Lawrence had one. Yep.
I remember that too.
Yep. A whole bunch of my
all
friends.
Of the friends. The only reason I didn't is because we forgot.
Had
that
tiles
Otherwise, I
painted
would
with nail polish on my childhood bedroom floor, and I said, please don't paint my bedroom. And if you decide to, get rid of the floor, or if you don't like the tiles, please, let me come and peel up the ones that I want. And
because again,
we had replacement tiles literally in the back room.
They were replaceable tiles. This apartment was fixed up through her entire life. So these were tiles that we regularly had to replace anyway because they had issues. And those ones specifically, they had replacements for. And so it was not... Again, you have to understand, it wouldn't have been a hard task to peel it up and put it back down. Yeah. Or we could have done it.
Yeah. Like, it's not even that she had to do it. Like, I offered to come and do it. I was like, I can come and take the tiles that I want. And then, there's replacement tiles in the back room. We can replace them or whatever. And it was reasonable requests for sentimental things. Or at the very least, I said, if you're going to paint my bedroom, like, tell me or something. Yeah. And I got none of that. My bedroom got painted, including the floor. And so the floor got painted.
So a friend of ours who've passed away.
I don't have her tile anymore. I was so upset. I was so upset.
She passed away from cancer,
I'm still really fucking upset. Because now I don't have her tile that she painted in my bedroom. I'm so fucking pissed off about that.
I know.
That is one of those unforgivable acts. And I even told her, I was like, I asked for you to tell me if you were gonna paint anything in here, if I could come get the tiles that I wanted. And she goes, oh, well, it's painted now. Just so blasé about it.
My lord.
Like,
I know.
like,
It's,
I are you kidding me? I was like, you realize that Brandy had a tile, and that if out of any of those tiles, out of all of them,
Brandy would have been the one you wanted.
that I would have wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't care. Not at all. Didn't care. So, yeah, no. I'd like to shove a cactus up her ass, too. That'd be great. So...
That's fair. We have a lot of cactuses that need shoving up people's asses. We'll also shove a cactus up your friend's ass if you need us to.
Yeah.
But that'll cost a small fee.
Yeah. You're like, I don't know, 50 bucks.
50 bucks.
50 bucks. I got a cactus right here. I'll shove it up their ass.
But yeah.
And then she tried to bury Kovu's lilies and kill them by covering them in sand.
She ruined the garden with sand.
She covered it in sand and buried Kovu's lilies, even though I specifically asked for her to tell me if she didn't want them anymore so that I could come get them. And then I said, you know what? Fuck it. I sent her a text message and said, I'm coming to get my cat's flowers, my dead cat's flowers. I specifically asked you to tell me if you didn't want them anymore, and I see that you have buried them in sand in an attempt to kill them and keep them from coming back. I'm very upset about that, and so I will be coming to collect Kovu's lilies. And so I sent her that message, and then I literally asked my landlord, I said, hey, can I borrow a shovel? And he said, yeah, sure, that's fine. And so I went and got a shovel and dug up my cat's flowers, and now they're growing in a planter in my front yard.
Which they are thriving. They were thriving. I mean, it's winter.
Oh yeah. They're currently in like their
dormant.
They're dormant right now. They'll come back next summer. So.
But they were beautiful this year.
They bloomed.
They did.
I was stunned. Great. They bloomed. Like I did not expect them to bloom this year based on the stress that they got from me having to dig them up and repot them this year.
But they did great.
But they bloomed. So.
They did great. Yeah. No. So relationships, and then
there've been a lot. Some have been stressful. Some people have come back or in and out of our lives, and some people we just completely cut off and don't talk to anymore. Even though we had a very deep and meaningful, relationship with them at one point, they just did things that are completely unforgivable, and they can't be let back into our lives because they cause too much drama or heartache.
Yep, and part of that journey is healing and learning those boundaries of what is acceptable as what is not, and certain things, I mean, even with my dad, certain things are just unacceptable.
Yep.
And those boundaries are in place for a reason. And we have to learn, and we have grown and have learned who we can trust, and have learned how to see that trust and learn those boundaries that we have to place within ourselves.
Yep.
And with other people.
Yep.
And it's very hard.
Relationships change.
They do.
All relationships change. And then there's also people like, even just the most minute person. The person who, you don't think means a whole lot to you in your life can completely change the course of your life.
Yeah.
I had a coworker.
Yep. You had a bad one, and I had a good one.
I'll say who starts shit at work and ruins your career at a place that you thought you were going to retire at.
Or a coworker who you were just trying to help go over lines for a play and turns into getting you out of the shitty situation you were in. And we've had the ups and the downs, but
it's weird how little people in your life can become really big people in your life, and then really big people in your life can become very little people in your life,
or not people,
or
in your
not
life.
at all,
or ghosts in your life.
Yeah,
but
it's weird how shit changes.
Shit changes. The year is almost over.
Yeah.
And this has been, I feel like...
And then we gotta figure out, like, if we're gonna do, like, a Christmas episode.
Do we want to do a Christmas episode introducing all of our cats?
Yeah. We can do that. Here are all of the cats we're gonna buy Christmas presents for, because we don't have money to buy our human friends presents.
We could do an episode of all of our cats opening their presents. Like the stockings. Like, putting the stockings on the ground and being like, ooh, what's that?
That's what I do. That's what I do.
Yes.
I get them, like, cans of tuna and treats and toys.
Yes.
I also have a good kitty Santa hat. Maybe I could do. Maybe
I just made
maybe
my
like
cat
one of
stockings
the
yesterday.
maybe like one of the episodes we can do is me like cross stitching names into new stockings if I find any that I like this year. But I need to add Fenrir's name too.
I can also do. We can also do if you want like for part of the Christmas we could do like I could make our Sims have like a Christmas in game. Like I'll dress us all in Christmas stuff and we'll have presents and sing and eat, and I don't think I can have all of the cats, but I'll include Ice. She can join us.
I have a regular Santa hat, and then I also have a Nightmare Before Christmas Santa hat. So maybe like in one of the episodes closer to Christmas, we can both wear Santa hats.
We could do Santa hats and like boozy eggnog and just sit there and talk about our favorite Christmas memories or presents.
We could do that.
That could be so fun.
When we stopped believing in Santa.
Yes, we talked a little. We already kind of talked about that. But we can talk about like what happened in the years after, how Christmas really formed in our minds, the decorations we enjoyed, the presents we enjoyed, you getting engaged. But yeah, no, so we are.
Yeah, so
this is
relationships and maturity and growth and healing and friends and it was definitely a deeper conversation today. This
does need a trigger warning. This will need a trigger warning. And also this will probably be
for what? Just so I don't like fuck it up and say.
So it'll be trauma. Trigger warning for trauma, a trigger warning for mentions of abuse, because there was mentions of mental abuse and manipulation. And I did mention, I don't think I ever said the what happened with me with the group chat, but just in case, that was also something we talked about with you, so we might want to just put it in the trigger warnings, just in case. But we can also name this "We Fucked Up, We're Sorry." A conversation about healing in relationships. So thank you so much for joining us today. Sorry this wasn't as, this started out kind of fun.
I was saying not as much of a perky.
It was not a perky episode, but it's a necessary one. These are the conversations we're here to have. We'll have dark ones, we'll have light ones. Also, again, if you have any suggestions for what we should do, what we should talk about, please don't hesitate to comment down below. Tweet us. Comment
on Twitter.
Yeah, we will link all of it.
I have a personal Twitter.
We all have personal Twitters. I'm at the Care Bear Girl. Girl is either GIRL or GURL. I do not have any backup accounts. If anyone says that, they're fucking lying.
They're lying.
And then this is at Midna Monstera and at Mommy Monstera on OF. I am also on OF. We're going to be promoting soon, so that'll be really exciting for the holidays. And yeah, thank you so much for joining us this week, and we will see you all next time.
Yeah.